Welcome to this tutorial general revision session, lesson 4, with Was Moses' son, a mathematics teacher. Lesson objectives. These lessons will help learners understand some basic mathematical concepts. It will help learners develop interactive skills in GCE ordinary level mathematics. We are going to do the lesson by a presentation as follows. The instruction says, write down the letter corresponding to the correct answer. Here we'll solve question 1 of an order of operations when don't see and multiply. Yeah. 8 minus 2 times 9 over 4 plus 9 divided by 3 over 2. We first and 9 divided by 3. And this is 2 minus 9 plus 6. Now, let's complete to find the LCM. And the LCM, since the only denominator is 2, so and if we further see 19 to 7 degrees Celsius is allowed to attain room temperature of 23 degrees Celsius. The rise in temperature is, we know that temperature difference is final temperature minus initial temperature. And the final temperature is 23 degrees Celsius minus initial temperature, which is -7, giving 30 degrees Celsius. Answer D. Question 3, the number 0.00746 estimated to two significant figure is, that number, all the zeros in this number are not significant. So the first significant figure is 7, followed by second, 4. After the second significant figure, we draw a line and look at the next digit. The next digit is 6. Since 6 is greater than 5, we run up. And running up means the number now becomes 0.0075. Answer C. A retailer makes a profit of 20% by selling a tray of eggs at 1,500 francs CFA. The cost price in francs CFA of the tray of eggs is, if the selling price and profit percent are given, to find the cost price, we use the formula cost price equal 100 times selling price over 100 plus profit percent. And we know that the selling price is 1,500 while the profit percent is 20%. Therefore, substituting and simplifying gives us cost price equals 1,250. Answer B. The height of a plant increased by 12.5%. The ratio of the initial height to the increase is, here let the initial height be an amount A, then the increased height will be an amount 12.5% of A, which is 25 over 2 times 100 into A. And if we simplify this, we're going to have what we'll see later. The ratio initial height is to increased height is the same as A over the initial price is A, the increased price is 25 over 2 times 100, all that A, which simplifies to 1 over 8A. A cancel A, giving us 8 over 1, which is read as 8:1 in ratio form. Answer 8:1, which is C. Question 6, given 3 sets defined in R, the set of real numbers as E equals the set of factors of 20, B, F, the set of multiples of 5 less than 15, G, the set of multiples of 3 less than 20. Which of the following statement is true? We first of all list down the elements of each set. Now for set A, we look for factors of 20, which are the exact divisors of 20. And they give 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. Factors of F, which is a set of multiples of 5 less than 15. We only have 2 of them. 5 and 10. The set G, the set of multiples of 3 less than 20. The set G, we only have, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. A set of multiples of 3 is the same as the set of counting in 3. When we begin from 3, we just add 3 to have other consecutive multiples. Now, which of the following statement is true? Looking at the following statement, A says F union E is equal to F, but we see that F union E is rather E, not F. So that statement is false. F intersection G is an empty set. F intersection G, F intersection G, there is no element in F which is also an element of G. Therefore, B is the correct answer. We move to question 7. In figure 1, the shaded region on the Venn diagram represents, now when we look at the figure which is the Venn diagram has two sets, M and N. And the part that has been shaded is a part of M. And that part of M is where the complement of N of the set N intersect, because the complement of the set N is every region except N. And that region, all the region except N intersects M at this shaded region. Therefore, answer A. Question 8. In a science class of 58 students, each student must either offer mathematics or physics as shown on the Venn diagram in figure 2. The number of students who offer mathematics only is, now the region where students who offer mathematics only is represented by x minus 4 on this Venn diagram. And to find that region, we need to first of all find the value of x. And knowing that there are 58 students in class, the union of all these regions must give 58. And to do that, we need to add up all the students in each of these regions equal to 58. When that is done, it simplifies and gives us x equals 19. Now, since x is equal to 19, we know that those who offer mathematics only will be given by x minus 4. X minus 4. And what is x? 19, which simplifies to 15. Answer A. Question 9. X squared minus 9 over x squared plus x minus 6 is simplified to, now we know that x squared minus 9 can be written as x squared minus 3 squared, which is a difference of 2. And this difference of 2 squares has a special way of factorizing it, giving x minus 3 into x plus 3. And the denominator is a quadratic. And this type of quadratics are factorized by just finding the factors of the constant whose sum can give you the coefficient of x and whose product will give you that constant. And since this constant is -6, the factors are 3 and -2, giving us x plus 3 into x minus 2. X plus 3 cancels, giving x minus 2 over x minus 3 over x minus 2 as an answer, which is B. 10. Given that t is equal to the square root of mh over k, h expressed in terms of k, m, and t is, here we make h the subject. We cross multiply by k and square both sides to remove the square root. When that is done, we simplify and make h the subject. Here h is t squared k squared over m. Answer C. The value of x in the equation 32 is equal to 16x. We see that 32 and 16 can be written in index form using a base 2 in both sides. And when that is to do that, we need to carry out prime factorization of 16 and 32 as we have in this table. And when that is done, 16 now gives 2 to the power 4, while 32 gives 2 to the power 5. And replacing 16 and 32 by this prime factorization results, we have both sides in index form. And when we simplify, since the bases are the same, we equate the powers and simplify to have x equal 5 over 4. Answer C. Question 12. Three consecutive terms in an arithmetic progression are 3, m, 7, and 20. The value of m is, K should be taken here, that whenever we talk of an arithmetic progression, if we have three consecutive terms that form an arithmetic progression, the middle term must be the arithmetic mean of the two other terms. That is, 7 here is equal to 3m plus 20 over 2. And if we solve for m, we cross multiply and we simplify, we'll have m equals negative 2. Answer D. Question 13. The mapping F shown in figure 3 is defined in R, the set of real numbers by F such that x takes maps to 2 minus 3x. The value of P is, now look here, this is the set of the domain, this is the set of the range. F of x is 2 minus 3x. Now, P maps to -1 means that f of p is -1. But what is f of p? F of p means we go to f of x and we replace x by p. 2 minus 3p is equal to -1. Here we simply just solve for p. Rearranging and simplifying gives p equals 1. Answer C. 14. Two functions f and g are defined on R, the set of real numbers as f such that x maps to x, and g such that x maps x minus 2. G's of f inverse of x is then equal to, in this question, we need to first of all find f inverse of x. And to do that, we let y equal f of x and make x the subject. Since f of x is x, y, making x the subject, x is just y, which gives the inverse of x as to be equal to the same function f of x. And since f inverse of x is x, g of f inverse of x is equal to, we write g and we find g of f inverse of x, and we replace f inverse of x by x, giving us x minus 2. Answer, x minus 2. Which of the following could be a value of x in the diagram above? Now, when you look at this right angle triangle, this extension from C to meet AD at B makes this angle an obtuse angle, since this one is accurate and this one is accurate. We know that in a triangle, when two angles are accurate, the remaining angle must be an obtuse angle. And that is why we say 5x lies between 90 and 80. Therefore, x should be the value that when multiplied by x, it gives an angle between 90 and 80. And among the alternatives given to you from A to D, the possible value of x can only be 10. Answer A. If two lines have slopes of -4 and 1/4, which of the following is true about the two lines? Now, we find the product of their slopes. -4 times 1/4, which simplifies to -1. And since the product is -1, we say that the lines intersect at right angles, which is angle of 90 degrees. Answer D. The logical form of the statement A union B complement is equal to A complementation B complement. To answer this, we simply just look at the equivalence for De Morgan laws. Apply De Morgan laws. And the equivalence for De Morgan laws, when you look at these two equivalents, we see that this one, A union B or complement, equals A complementation B complement, is logically equivalent to the negation of P or Q equals the negation of P and the negation of Q, which is D. In figure 9, RB is tangent to a circle whose center is A at point B. BD is a diameter. What is angle CBR? Angle CBR, this is C, this is B, this is R, is the angle at B formed by these three, C, B, and R. So this angle. We know that when a tangent meets a circle, the radius of that circle intersect the tangent at 90 degrees. So since this is 25, to find the angle CBR, we simply subtract 25 from 90, giving 65. Answer 65 degrees. Question 19. In figure 10, triangle ABC is such that AD is equal to DB. DE is parallel to BC, and the area of triangle ABC is 40. What is the area of triangle ADE? This is triangle ADE, the smaller triangle. When you look at this information, it tells us that these two triangles are similar. And for similar figures, area of figure 1 over area of figure 2 should be equal to the square of the scale factor K. And how do we find the scale factor K? By taking the ratio of corresponding sides in the two given figures. In this our case, if we want to find K, we can take AD over AB. And we know that AB is the same as 2AD from the analysis above, giving us K to be half. And equating the ratio of their areas to K squared simplifies, find and making area of triangle ADE, the subject, gives us the area of the smaller triangle as 10. Answer A. Question 20, find the value of x for which the mean of the numbers 3, 3, 7, 20, x, 8 is 7. Now we know that the mean of every set of numbers is adding all those numbers and dividing by the number of scores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here there are 6 scores. So we simply add all and divide by 6, mean we have 3 plus 3 plus 7 plus 20 plus x plus 8 over 6. And we equate the mean to 7. Simplifying and making x, solving for x gives x equals 1. Answer B. We have come to the end of the multiple choice section. We move to paper 2, section A. Here, I have selected 5 sample structural questions, and we are going to provide answers for each question in this section. Question 1, solve for x and y in the equations 2x minus 3y is equal to 6 and x plus 2y is equal to -4. This is a pair of simultaneous linear equations in 2 unknowns, and I have solved using the method of elimination. We first of all write down each equation, we name it equation, like this one, we call it equation 1. The second equation, we call it equation 2. And we look at how can we eliminate the coefficients of each variable in each equation are different. Therefore, to eliminate, we need to make sure that the coefficient, identify one variable and make sure that the coefficients of that variable in both equations is the same. The coefficients are the same. That is why I have identified x, and I want to make the coefficient of x in equation 2 be the same as the coefficient of x in equation 1. To do that, I simply multiply equation 2 by 2, which is the coefficient of x in equation 1. That is what I'm using. So if we multiply this equation 2 by 2, we obtain 2x plus 4y minus 8 plus 4y is equal to negative 8. Let's call this one equation 3. Now we use equation 1 and equation 2, and we eliminate x by subtracting equation 1 from equation 3. Subtracting equation 1 from equation 3, we have 4y minus negative 3y, which is 7y, negative 8 minus 6, which is negative 14, because 2x minus 2x is 0. So solving for y gives y equals negative 2. To find the value of x, we can substitute in any of these three equations, but I choose to substitute in equation 2 because in equation 2, x can easily be made the subject. So in equation 2, x is equal to negative 4 minus 2y, with y equals negative 2 gives x equals 0. We move to question 2, expressed as a single fraction x over 2 minus x plus 4 over 3. Here we find the LCM. The LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times x, 3x. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 times x plus 4 is 2 into x plus 4. Expanding and simplifying gives us x minus 8 over 6. Given that y varies inversely as the square root of x and that y is equal to 3 over 2 when x is 16, find the value of x when y is 3. This statement, y varies inversely as the square root of x. Please, there is an omission here. Y varies directly was a typing error. Y varies directly as the square root of x, and that y is 3 over 2 when x is 16. Find the value of x when y is 3. Good. We continue. Good. Y varies directly as the square root of x is written as y linear with the square root of x. This variation is changed to y equals k root x. And if we make x the subject, we have x equals y over k all squared. And if we make k the subject, we have k equals y over root x. Now, using the initial values of x and y, we can substitute here to find k. And if that is done, because y is equal to 3 over 2, x equal to 16, when x equal to 16, it simplifies and gives us k equals 3 over 8. And with k equals 3 over 8, using the formula x equals y over k all that square, we just substitute y equals 3 and k equals 3 over 8 to have x. And if we simplify, x will be equal to 64. Question 4. Figure 1 shows a circle of radius 21 centimeters. The chord PQ subtends an angle of 60 degrees at the center O. Taking pi as 22/7, calculate the length of the minor arc PQ. Now, this is the arc part of the circumference, PQ. It's obtain an angle 60 degrees. B says we should calculate the area of the minor sector contained by the arc PQ. Okay, as an analysis to this question, we take at the important information. R, the radius is 21 centimeters, theta is 60 degrees, pi is 22/7. And from the formula of the arc length given by theta over 360 times 2 pi radius, we know that theta is 60/360, pi is 22/7, and radius is 21. We multiply and we simplify. If we simplify this expression, it gives us 22 centimeters. Therefore, the length of the minor axis is 22 centimeters. Now, for the area of the minor sector contained by the arc, we know that that area of minor sector is given by theta over 360 times pi radius squared, and which pi radius squared is the formula for finding the area of the circle. This is a fraction of the area because a sector is actually a fraction of the entire area of the circle. So substituting theta, pi, and r squared and simplifying gives us the area of the minor sector to be 231 centimeter square. Question 5, given that f is such that x maps 3x minus 2, then find f inverse of 7. To do that, we need to first of all find f inverse of x. And to find f inverse of x, we let y equals f of x and make x the subject. This gives x equals y plus 2/3. That is f inverse of x is x plus 2/3. Now, f inverse of 7 will simply be replacing x by 7 in f inverse of x, which simplifies to 3. Paper 2, section B, which is the last section, essay question. Here, I have selected a sample of 2 questions to help you understand the nature of the GCE ordinary level exam for section B. We have been asked to provide detailed solution to each question, and each question carry equal marks. Question 1, Roman numeral 1, an urban council in a particular year got its revenue by collecting from each vehicle in the area a tax of 1/8 of its value. Find the amount of tax that was paid for a car valued at 3.6 million. Now here, we bring up the vital information, fraction of tax, 1/8 of value of each vehicle. So we just need to know the value of each vehicle. We substitute here and we find the amount that was used to pay as tax. For a car valued at 3,600,000, the tax amount will be 1/8 times 3,600,000, which gives 450,000 francs CFA. Of the total amount, the question continues, of the total amount of 8.5 million francs collected by the council, 25% was paid into the government treasury, 15% was spent on medical care, 30% on education, 10% on others, and the rest on salaries. B, calculate the amount spent on education. So we see that a lot of information has been given here, but the information that helps us will help us to answer our particular problem will be the percentage on education and the total amount that was collected by the council. So here we just need to bring at 8.5 million, we bring at 30% that was spent on education, and calculate the amount that was spent on education. Total amount raised by council, 8,500,000. Amount spent on education is 30%. And this 30% means percentage spent on education is 30%. Therefore, amount spent on education will be 30% of 8.5 million, which is 2,550,000. The question continues. We read each part of the question and we provide a solution. The amount spent on education was shared between basic and secondary education in the ratio 10:7 respectively, meaning 10 proportional part goes to basic education and this 7 proportional part goes to secondary education. Find the amount spent on basic education. Here again, the important information we need is the proportion that was spent on basic education and the total amount that was spent on education. Amount to be shared is that total amount, which is 2,550,000. Sharing ratio 10:7. Sum of ratio 10 plus 7, which is 17. Therefore, amount spent on basic education is 10/17 times 2,550,000, giving us 1,500,000. Roman numeral 2, given a curve defined by the function f of x equal 12x minus 3x squared. A, using a scale of 1 centimeters to 1 unit on the x-axis and 1 centimeters to 5 units on the y-axis, draw the graph of y equal f of x for this interval -3 to 6. Okay, in this question, there are some basic things we need to first of all do. And those basic things are always necessary to sketch a quadratic function or a quadratic graph. We need to identify the turning point. And to find the value of, to find any turning point, the value of x is always given by -b/2a. And in this case, our a is -3, which is the coefficient of x squared. And once a is -3, it determines the type of turning point. So when a is -3, which is less than 0, we have a maximum turning point. Now, b is equal to 12, c is equal to 0. Substituting, we have x equals -12/2 times -3, which simplifies to 2. We also find the corresponding value of y at this 2, which is f of 2, and that simplifies to 12. And we know that the value of x at a turning point is called the line of symmetry. So the line of symmetry to this function will be the line x equals 2. And the maximum turning point will be the point 2, 12. After the turning point has been identified, we can use that turning point to come out with a table of values. This is the turning point. Knowing that to the right, the graph will be going down, and to the left, the graph will be going down, because that turning point forms the highest point to the graph of a quadratic function. And how do we come up with this table? We sample some values in the interval that was given and find f, substitute those values for x in f of x, and obtain the corresponding values of y, which are the values of f of x. Now, if that is done, we plot these points on the graph using or respecting the scale that was given to us, as shown on the next slide. The point 0, 0, the turning point, which is the point 2, 12, the point 0, 4, 0, the point 6, -36, and the point -3, -63. These are the points. Once you plot those points and you draw the graph will pass through all those points that has been have been plotted. So this is the graph of the function y in the interval -3 and 6. We were told that from the graph, we should solve the equation 12x minus 3x squared equals 0. So simply solving that the quadratic equation that defines that function means we take the values of x where that graph cuts the x-axis. In other words, we draw the line y equals 0, which is just coincide with the x-axis. And if that is done, the values of x where the graph cuts the x-axis are x equal to 0, x equal 4. So the solution to this graph the solution to the equation 12x minus 3x squared equals 0 from this graph is x equals 0 and x equals 4. Question 2. Given that OP is equal to 2i plus 3j and OQ is 3i minus 2j, find the magnitude of PQ. To do that, we first of all find PQ, which is OQ minus OP. OQ minus OP. 3 minus 2 is 1, 1i. Negative 2 minus 3 gives negative 5j. And the magnitude says we should square the component of I plus we square the component of j and find the square root. 1 square plus negative 5 square square root. This gives 1 plus 25, which is root of 26. Question 2. OP is equal to the same vectors. We should find the gradient of the lines OP and OQ. Hence, show that OP and OQ are perpendicular. Here, it suffices to find the gradient of OP. We also find the gradient of OQ, multiply their product, and show that their product is -1. The gradient of each vector is the component of j over the component of I. And when we do that, we multiply, you discover that the product of their two gradients is -1. And because of that, we can conclude that OP and OQ are perpendicular. And as an illustration, we actually look at the geometry of the two vectors and see that the angle between them is 90 degrees. The figure below, question 2, is the net, not shown to scale, of a pyramid on square base ABC of side 6 centimeters. The slant edges FA, FB, FC, FZ are equal and of length 5 centimeters. So you see that these triangular faces are all equal. All these triangular faces are equal. So state the number of faces. The number of faces, we have 4 triangular faces and 1 square base, giving us a total of 5 faces. The number of edges. Now we see that for the number of edges, this triangle and this triangle, when you enclose the pyramid, they coincide, meaning that these 2 triangles give 2 edges. These 2 triangles give 2 edges, making a total of 4 edges. And this square base has 4 edges, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the total, the number of edges are 8. For the vertices, this is a vertex. The square base forms 4 vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4. And since all the triangular faces have one common vertex, F, we have 4 plus 1, which is 5 vertices. Calculate the altitude FE of triangle FGC and the total surface area of the pyramid. To calculate the altitude, this FE, we need to first of all know the area of the triangle. We need to know the area of this triangle. And to know the area of this triangle, we use Hero's formula, which states that we will need to first of all calculate S, and S is a semi-perimeter. The area of triangle by Hero's formula states that we have S into S minus 5 into S minus 5 into S minus 5, all that square root. And what are the sides? We have 5 plus 5 plus 6 over 2. This is the semi-perimeter, which gives 8. Now, area of triangle FDC will be 8 into 5 minus into 8 minus 5, which is 3, into 8 minus 5, which is 3, and into 8 minus 5, 6, which is 2. So this simplifies to 12 centimeter squared. With the area, we know that the area of any given triangle is equal to half base times height, primary school method. Area of triangle FGC is 12 centimeter. We still know too that this area is given by half base times height. And if we simplify and make the height the subject, because this altitude is the height, it gives us 2 times area of triangle of FGC over 6. And if we substitute this area of that triangle, it reduces and gives us the altitude to be 4, because 6 goes into 12 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Calculate the total surface area of the pyramid. For the total surface area, we need to calculate the area of each triangle. We add up all the areas of the triangle. We also calculate the area of the square, and we add all the areas involved. And to do that, it is simple. It is just as simple as calculating the area of one triangle and multiplying by 4. We next calculate the area of the square base, and we add the two results. Area of one triangular face is 12 centimeters, as we have already calculated because we know it already. Total area of triangular faces, 4 times 12, 48. Area of square base, 6 times 6, 36. Now, the total surface area will be 48 plus 36, which is 84 centimeter squared. Thank you for viewing. Those were the questions I prepared for you in paper 1, multiple choice, and paper 2. We have come to the end of the revision session. After viewing this lesson, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for future lessons. Also, don't forget to leave a comment on any recommendations or on any questions that were not well understood. Thank you, and thank you for always viewing our lessons.